Hey, how's it going, everyone? So the Imperial event is now here, and it is not a very popular event. There are quite a few issues with it, and I'm going to try to break down all of those, and I'm also just going to talk about the event in general. Now, one thing to keep in mind is the game isn't even 3 months old, so they're still testing the waters, figuring out what events do and don't work, and I'm sure they're going to learn a lot from this one and apply that to future events. But yeah, let's break this down. So first of all, I just want to mention that I think the general format of this event is fine. I don't mind there being an event that you have to play multiple times in order to get a character maxed. I actually think that that is a good part of progression, and it's good to have something to work towards. I don't think we should be able to take the character immediately to 7 stars. I think it's fine if the event does have to come around multiple times before you start getting these characters maxed. I am interested to see what the release cadence is going to be for this Imperial event, because if it follows a similar cadence to the Yeti event, which was about 5 months, it could be around a year and a half to 2 years to actually max both of these two Imperial characters, which in my opinion is a little bit on the high end, and that could be made a bit more manageable if the event just ran more regularly than the Yeti event has so far, maybe like every other month or something like that. I think it would be good if we got one brick pace every month at least, especially once Jay is here. They could go on like a cycle of 3 or something. That could work pretty well, and 3 months in between isn't too bad. But again, I don't mind there being something to work towards. That's why master events are actually my favorite kind of event, even though typically you're not going to be unlocking that character or maxing that character the first time the event comes around. Like with Primo, it came around and my castle was nowhere near ready, but now I've had plenty of time to prepare, and now my castle characters are ready to go for his event whenever it may come around next. So it has taken me quite a while to actually get Primo, but I don't really mind it because it was something to work towards, and it felt pretty good to get my castle characters to that 5-star minimum. It is a little bit different with the Woo event, since we know ahead of time that pirates are going to be the faction required, but that's besides the point. And generally, I have also liked the brick pace events. The Yeti one was fine. It did get changed, but I think it's still possible to get Yeti unlocked if you don't spend any gems on refreshes or anything like that. I'd have to check, but I'm pretty sure that you can still unlock Yeti without spending. But this one is different. You can still get Lee without spending, because there's 2 chapters with this one, which I think is also a cool idea. But there are quite a few issues with this format here. So yes, you can probably get Lee unlocked at 3 stars, maybe even get her to 4 before the event ends. But the thing is, you actually need Lee to be at 3 stars to start farming for Governor. And the way that works is Chapter 2, right here where you can see the Governor nodes. You have to have Lee and your pirates at a certain star level for each of these battles. I believe with the first node you need a 3-star Lee and 3-star pirates, and then the next one you need a 4-star Lee and 4-star pirates, and then so on and so forth with 5, 6, and 7-star pirates and a 7-star Lee to just unlock the last node and start looting that one as well. So you'll still be able to loot tiles, or I guess loot these nodes to get tiles for Governor without needing higher star pirate characters, but you'll be limited to just 1 or 2 hard nodes depending on how high you can get Lee and how high you have your pirates. So it is going to take you a handful of days to actually get Lee to 3 stars, at which point you can start looting that very first node, but you're not going to get much further than that, and you are not going to unlock Governor the first time this event comes around, maybe not even the second time, since you do need Lee to be at 4, 5, 6, 7 stars to unlock those later nodes as well. I think in general, brick pace events should allow you to at least unlock the character or characters from the event. So like with Yeti, I believe you can get him unlocked without spending, but with this one you can get Lee but not Governor, and you might not even be able to get Governor the second time. So I feel like that's a problem. I think you should be able to at least unlock the characters from the event, so you're at least getting something. Now, another problem with this event, in my opinion, is it is only hard nodes, and you only get 3 attempts per hard node. With the Yeti event, there were hard nodes, but there were also normal nodes. So here's the thing, even if you do want to spend on this event and you buy one of the $20 energy packs in the store, or maybe all 5 of them, for $100 total, you cannot go spend that energy because there are only hard nodes. If you actually want to spend this energy that you just bought, you then have to also use gems that you've either saved up or purchased to refresh these hard nodes so you can actually use the energy that you just purchased. And the refreshes are also pretty expensive. I think it starts at 100 and then it goes to 150 and then 250 and then 350 and then 500, something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but it gets pretty pricey very quickly. So to actually spend your energy, you will need a considerable amount of gems, and I definitely think that that is a problem and should be changed. At least add one normal node, just one, maybe one at the beginning, just so we can loot without worrying about hitting a max number of attempts or whatever. Another thing is the event store. I was hoping that all the Imperials would be here the same way that all the chill characters were there for Yeti, but no, it's just Governor and Lee, no Valiant, and no LeQuay. I feel like that would have been a really good move to include those other 2 characters, because as we know, the Wu event is going to require pirates, and a lot of people have started farming Valiant or LeQuay to try to get 5 pirates up to 5 stars, as well as a 5-star pirate set. I mean, personally, I'm still about 23, 24 days away from having a 6-star Valiant, and I might not make it by the time the Master Wu event is here. We'll have to see. But it would have been really nice to be able to get some tiles for Valiant from this store, and it would have just been a nice way to actually get something out of this event, even if you're not going to be able to utilize Governor or Lee, because those are the only 2 characters you can get tiles for from this store right here. And you can also get tier 3 ability elixirs that might be worth it, but eventually down the line you're going to have an abundance of these. So I don't know, it might be smarter to just go after the tiles, even if you don't plan to use the character in the near future, especially because right now this brick pace event is the only place where we can get tiles for these 2 characters. Another thing I'll mention is that I wish that the actual battles themselves were a bit more interesting. I mean, right now, if you're over like level 30, you can pretty much full auto all of these battles with your arena team, no problem. I wish maybe there were like I don't know, like a boss monster or something for one of these battles that had like quite a bit of health and a decent amount of damage, and you had to like control them with stuns, or just some sort of interesting mechanic that just kind of changed up the battle and just made it a bit different, a bit more challenging, and it wasn't something that you could just full auto all the way through. I don't know, maybe there'd be like certain bonuses to certain characters, so like maybe Darwin and LeQuay would get huge offense boosts and just make it more fun to use those characters. I don't know, just something else, something to change it up and just make the battles not something that is just done on full auto. So we've talked a lot about the event, but what about the characters? Lee and Governor, are they good at 7 stars? Are they going to be viable characters? Well, there is one person in my arena shard who has both of them at 7 stars already, Clueless Savannah Hood, aka Tibster, and she has sent me some footage of these 2 in action, so thank you to her for sending that footage over. Unfortunately, neither of us are really blown away by either one of these characters, especially Lee. She did a handful of battles and she only won 2 battles, and for both of those she was only using Governor and not Lee. For one of these, she used Redbeard, Scarlet, Bart, Hank, and Governor, and only barely won the battle. Scarlet and Governor were both dead by the end, and Bart and Hank were both pretty low on health. And then for the other battle that she won, she was using Redbeard, Scarlet, Argenta, Valiant, and Governor, so a slightly different team there, and this time the team won with 4 units standing, but the 1 unit that died was Governor, and he didn't really do much for the entire battle. And honestly, I'm not really impressed with his damage. I thought he might be a decent damage dealer, but he's really not. I think the Imperials are going to be really dependent on the Eldorado Fortress and Admiral Nonsuch being released into the game, but those 2 are still quite a ways out, so even if you are going to try to get these 2 Imperials to 7 stars, you're not going to find much use for them for quite some time. Also, I do want to add that the developers have been great through all this. The community manager was really active in the Discord today, getting everyone's opinions and feedback on the event, and he said that he would take that to the rest of the dev team. And one of the other devs popped in and said that yes, it's a new type of event that they're experimenting with, and changes will likely be made in the future. So as always, really good communication. And another thing that's worth keeping in mind is they have taken community suggestions before that were quite dramatic. Like they increased the hard node attempts a while back in soft launch, and I believe they also increased the drop rate for character tiles. It used to be below 30%, now it is a flat 30%. This has been tracked by different members in the community, so it has been confirmed. So they have definitely taken community feedback and suggestions in the past, and I'm sure that that will continue, and it's very likely that they will take note of most or all of these points and make changes in the future to whatever events might be in the works. But alright, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.